गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। मेरा नाम है कौशिक। ईलर्न मार्केट की टीम से फिर से एक बार हम लाइव आ चुके हैं टू डू टेक्निकल एनालिसिस इन लाइव मार्केट। आज का सेशन बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है क्योंकि जो हमारे साथ ट्रेडर आज जुड़े हैं वो बहुत एक्सपीरियंस्ड है और हमें आज बहुत कुछ सिखाने वाले हैं। इससे पहले अगर आपको स्ट्रीम पसंद आए तो आप लाइक कर दो, सब्सक्राइब करो चैनल को। एंड अगर आपको कोई भी क्वेश्चंस अगर आपको हमारे गेस्ट से पूछने हैं तो आप चैट में कमेंट कर सकते हैं। आप चैट में मैसेज ड्रॉप कर दीजिए, हम वो क्वेश्चंस लेते रहेंगे। सो आई विल वेलकम Thoviti जी ब्रह्मचार्य to join us for the live stream. Thoviti ji, welcome to the stream.
One second. I think
Yeah.
good morning, Kaushik. Yeah, good morning,
Good
Kaushik.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Thank you very
Yeah,
much for
it's
me.
going to be an interesting session today. So
Yes.
I guess let us start with our analysis in live market, that what we can do. And I guess with you, we were discussing a lot of things that, so there are going to be two interesting concepts discussed today in the stream, and that we'll learn from sir, that how to trade gaps. And when you enter the market at 11, what is the setup that you should trade? So these are the two important concepts that we are going to learn from sir today. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very
So
much. Thank you, Kaushik. Let us start with the Nifty analysis now.
yeah, let us start with that.
So this is my screen. I
Yeah,
think
we are able to see
is
your
my
screen.
yes. Thank you. First, we will go to a weekly chart. This is in a weekly chart. So this is a long upward channel from the March lows, right? It was broken here in the November 21st of week. Okay, again
Right.
formed a lower low on 16th Jan and a lower high and a lower low, right?
Right.
So this is the a normal trend indication that the Doe theory says the two consecutive lower low highs and lower lows is a clear downtrend indication.
Yeah.
So the last 2 weeks of up move has
Hmm.
faced a resistance at this 20-week moving average, simple moving average 20 weeks.
Right.
So even last week and this week also it faced the same level of resistance now. So overall trend is clearly down. Even the RSI shows the clearly down and the below 50 zone, right? And
Right.
here in the ADX, which is directional indicator, directional movement indicator, where on the weekly chart the negative directional momentum indicator, the minus DMA is on the top,
Right.
right? So this indicates the overall bearishness things. Now we'll come
Right.
back to the daily chart. So actually any price moves in a channels basically. So if you look at this impulsive move between the December to Jan, rose by 11.82% within 21 trading sessions, right? And this is currently the current up move which was ended last Thursday was very impulsive than this move because it is just 7 trading sessions up by 10.67%, almost equivalent price, right? From percentage wise,
Right.
right? So these impulsive moves generally attracts the consult counter trends. That's a
Okay.
basic technical analysis, right?
Hmm.
So here, if you look at this, I remove this. If you look at this is a
Huh.
bearish engulfing, right?
Bearish engulfing. Right.
Right. This is another bearish engulfing.
Hmm.
The yesterday's bar is a bearish engulfing, right?
Right.
So now the question here is the reversal here at a bullish engulfing and a bearish engulfing.
Hmm.
And if you look at this channel from here to
Hmm.
here is a
Hmm.
channel, right? The
Right.
channel target is almost met here.
Okay.
So it ends the downtrend at here. At the
Hmm.
same time, if you look at this is a shoulder and a head
Hmm.
and a
Hmm.
shoulder. So it
Right.
also met the head and shoulder target. That's the reason it ends the downward move at here itself.
Hmm.
So now it went up here,
Hmm.
okay, formed another
Right.
bearish engulfing. But look at the retracement levels, right? exact retracement level which works 61.8 percentage of retracement.
Right.
Generally, any in any bear market conditions, any
Hmm.
retracements are will not move more than 61.8 percentage.
Okay.
So there it ends the actual thing. The upward move was ended yesterday itself.
Hmm.
Okay. Now it is trying to fill the gap. Now it is almost fill. I think 77,000. What is the 17,000? Sorry, 16,987 is the low. Here it is another. I think another 20 23 5 points. It will fill the gap. Most probably by
Hmm.
end of the day, it will fill the gap.
Hmm.
So
Right.
in this market, when the market is moving down, the
Hmm.
volatility will increase, and the gaps, any retracement, any counter trends will have more gaps and more impulsive moves. This is the
Hmm.
basic gap philosophy.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
Whenever there are impulsive, either downside or an upside, impulsive moves attracts the gaps.
Right.
Okay, these gaps you need to understand. Don't expect market will open tomorrow at the rate
Hmm.
of closing today. No
Right.
day will be seen the previous closing price is today's opening price,
Right.
right. So gaps are natural, gaps are inevitable. Understand those gaps. Only
Hmm.
thing is where the gaps are coming,
Hmm.
what are the directional bias in those gaps.
Hmm.
That's a basic concept. Okay.
Right.
Now the Nifty, the current trend is completely reversal. If it closes below this level, it
Hmm.
gets a confirmation of this bearish engulfing. So the reversal will be next to 3 to 5 days. That's a simple
Hmm.
logic. So next 3 to 5 days will be negative for the
Hmm.
market. How long it will go negative? That's a question mark here.
Right.
Okay. Now again we'll go to the retracements of this thing. So it is already, we are almost here at 23.6. So
Hmm.
this is the previous bottom, which is 18,000, sorry, 16,000 800 levels. So this could be 717 actually.
Hmm.
So this could be the strong support zone.
Right.
Okay. Either it has to bounce from here to the upward,
Hmm.
or it fails to bounce from this level, it
Right.
automatically drifts below and forms another low somewhere below this level.
Right.
Okay, that's a basic concept. So now
Right.
the 200 DMA, suppose earlier the 200 DMA was used to be a trend indicator, right?
Hmm.
So now the 200 DMA is exactly took a support here. Today's support is exactly under 200 DMA. So
Hmm.
people till the evening, people play games around here only. That means
Hmm.
around 17,012 and 17,000 levels only. Only if
Right.
a deep fresh kind of selling comes, then it drifts below that and it fills the gap.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, it closes
Hmm.
below this at current level is also okay. So it gets confirmation for the bearish engulfing. So
Hmm.
I am not comfortable to chase any fresh long positions. I am comfortable sitting with existing short position, which I have taken yesterday, and I'll wait
Right.
for the confirmation. I'll continue it for the little another 3 to 5 days period. So that's my
Right.
target. That my target is around 6,017 level, 6,700 levels, 16,700 levels. So this is the
16,000.
basic. So this is basically a daily analysis. Now come to
Hmm.
little positional analysis. Today morning it has broken down. This is a 75-minute chart.
Hmm.
Why I am using the 75-minute chart is important to know here.
Hmm.
If you any day, our trading hours are little more than 6 hours, which is not divided by hourly charts, because it opens at 9:15, closes at
Hmm.
3:30. That means
Right.
6 hour 45 minutes. We cannot be divided into 60-minute time frames. It can
Right.
be divided into 75 minutes, means it
Hmm.
exactly forms 5 bars in a day. And
Right.
then 20, 25 minutes or 15 minutes is also
Hmm.
good. Okay.
Right.
Now as I said, it is actually earlier also, these are the channels which was many times channels. I play channels in a Nifty
Huh.
trades. I
Right.
play more classical patterns. Now this is
Hmm.
a raising wedge, which is a bearish pattern.
Right.
So my targets are very clearly mentioned as earlier. So
Hmm.
suppose this is the base of the wedge.
Hmm.
So after breakdown, exactly the level which I spoke to you is the same level. First
Right.
level is 6,000, 16,600 to 700 levels. Then it will comes to here. So where it
Right.
will little consolidates.
Right.
Now this is the Nifty view. No, I'm not
Hmm.
chasing any long position now.
Okay.
I'm I'm already in short. I'll add more shots once the 200 DMA also broken.
Okay.
Okay, and this is another average which works intraday basis very well is 34 exponential moving average. Okay,
Okay.
so I'll close my WhatsApp because it's disturbing me. Uh, okay, so this is my target. This is my
Hmm.
if I will add this at this level. And one more thing
Right.
is this RSA. Look at this RSA
Hmm.
where it has formed a base at here around 50 level.
Hmm.
Once
Okay.
it breaks, once it
Hmm.
breaks, it
Hmm.
has to come down up to here or somewhere below the 30 zone.
Right.
So I'm not very much comfortable. Moreover, MACD, a traditional indicator, also looking at a very bearish momentum in this build-up.
Right.
So now I'll explain little
Yeah.
gaps
So
also.
there are a couple of questions that I want to take.
Yeah,
That
please.
why you are using DMA and what
Ah,
is the importance of DMA?
done. Here in weekly chart, I have taken 20 period average, right?
Huh.
Right. 20 means 20 period in the sense 20 weekly.
Okay.
Done. So in a month, we have around 21 to 22 trading days,
Hmm.
which applies on a any periods average is 20 is good for markets because 20 period average works as a magnet of the market.
Hmm.
Whenever it goes little distance from the 20 period average, either it is daily or weekly or any time
Hmm.
frame,
Hmm.
generally price pulls back. See, if you look
Right.
at the 20 period, so it moved right from far
Hmm.
away from the 20 period, then automatically it pulls up and goes
Hmm.
up, pulls down, goes up, pulls down, like this. So
Right.
these kind of it works like in a magnet.
Hmm.
One of the most famous technical analysts who said that it kind as a 20 period works as a magnet of the market.
Hmm.
Price never goes far away from the 20 periods
Right.
average. It has to close. It tries to close to be that price, that average.
Hmm.
That's the
Right.
reason I have applied 20 period on the that thing. But on an
Right.
hourly chart, I applied a 34 EMA. That because it has a correlation of a MACD and 34 EMA exponential average
34
on a
EMA.
lower
Okay.
time. 34 EMA
Right.
exponential moving average.
Right.
Right.
So
This is a
the
20.
DMA that you are using, is it simple or exponential?
Uh, on a lower time frame, I use exponential. On a
Okay.
daily and weekly, I use simple.
Simple.
The reason
Okay.
I'll tell you. The reason I'll tell you.
Hmm.
Why exponential on the shorter period is the exponential moving average creates gives an importance more weightage in a calculation of the recent prices,
Right.
right? So if the recent price gives more weightage in a average
Hmm.
calculation, that means the recent move of the price is important at current level. Because we are trading on an intraday basis, we bother
Hmm.
more about the recent trade price action.
Right.
That's the reason we use exponential in a
Hmm.
shorter period. Suppose if you use a double moving average technique,
Hmm.
okay. Suppose if you use a double moving average technique, then one is simple, which is
Hmm.
longer period. Suppose you are using two moving averages, longer period is a
Right.
simple, and a
Hmm.
shorter period will be exponential. Then your trade setup will works better.
Right. Right. Okay.
Got the
Okay.
point?
Clear,
Done.
sir. Got it. So
Done.
we can move to gaps now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, this is the gaps. There are many
Hmm.
several gaps you are seeing in a 15-minute chart. Because I've taken 15-minute chart, I want to show more and more gaps, right?
Hmm.
You can't see
Okay.
these many gaps on a daily charts, but still
Right.
there are some more gaps also here. So, what is your basic observation now? How the gaps were formed? in which direction gaps were formed. See, generally, from here to here is a trend is upside, right?
Upside, right?
Yeah. The gap of the next day opening is on the upside only,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
And the
Correct.
gap of the next day is also upside only.
Upside, correct.
Yeah. The gap of next also an upside.
Upside, right.
Yeah. When you are in a downtrend, the gap is on the downside. The gap is
Hmm.
on the downside. The gap is on the downside. The gap is on the downside, and the gap
Downside.
is on the downside, and the downside, and the downside.
Right.
So, what did you find in this technique? So,
That.
generally,
Uh-huh.
the gaps are nothing but a directional things. If you
Right.
find a direction of whether it is an uptrend or a downtrend,
Hmm.
so the gap most probability 80% of the probability, unless until there is no event risk, the 80% of the probability is on the direction side only.
Right.
Suppose your market is moving down now, right?
Hmm.
Right, there is no gap in the last 2 days, right? So
Hmm.
suppose you are expecting something positive and trading uh,
Hmm.
took a long position now, though there is
Hmm.
a very little longer period charts are showing there is a
Hmm.
bearishness. So you are
Hmm.
against the trend, then your gap will hurt you. Why
Hmm.
gap fearful of gaps is, suppose tomorrow morning something happens, my gap takes away long, my
Right.
position will be reversed, right? So
Right.
if you are your trade is in the direction, then there is no fear to about the gaps.
Hmm.
There is nothing to fear. Gaps are
Right.
common. You cannot expect market to open tomorrow at the closing of the today. It never
Exactly.
happens. It never
Right.
happens, right? So gaps are natural, gaps are inevitable. Understand the gaps under the direction. If you understand the direction of the market, the gaps will be generally on the direction side only. So suppose market is in an uptrend, I'll show you the little
Yeah.
simple example. See, this entire uptrend, all the
Huh.
gaps are on the except one or two here and the here. All the
Hmm.
gaps are upside only. So look at these
Right.
gaps. So even including in the downside, the gaps are mostly on the downside only,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So even if you go to the you see, look at these gaps, an uptrend.
Hmm.
You
Right.
fearful of these gaps? No, because
No.
if your trade is on the direction of the market, the gaps will be advantage for you. The gaps are
Right.
advantages for you. If you are
Right.
trade against the market direction, then the gaps will hurt you. Simple reason. So look at
Right.
this: how many gaps here, how many gaps here, how many
Right.
gaps here. See, look at this. In the downtrend also, in the
Hmm.
March, all the gaps are
In the
seriously on the
direction
down,
of trend.
in the direction of it. So, so don't fear about the gaps.
Right.
Trade accordingly to the direction, then the gaps will benefit you. Simple reason. There is
Right.
no much complexity in this gap trading.
Right.
So if
Sir,
you
one more
understand,
thing that I observed on chart is when you were showing
hmm,
that if gaps are open in the opposite direction of the trend, they are getting filled. Is my
yes,
observation correct?
yes, every gap will fill one point of time.
Hmm.
That's another logic. So,
Right.
so suppose, will this gap fill at around 10,200 means this is the gap where
Huh.
this is the gap, right?
Right.
So this gap is almost in the March first week of second week of the
Hmm.
March. So
Right.
these gaps will fill one point of time, not immediately.
Hmm.
So there are many gaps in the direction, right? So many
Right.
gaps here. So when these gaps will fill, we don't know, but it
Hmm.
certainly fill. But the longer term
Right.
super cycle kind of technology is saying that if Nifty falls below 13,800 levels,
Hmm.
those gaps also filled,
Okay.
right? So
Right.
as per my analysis, if the
Hmm.
Nifty falls below 13,800 levels,
Hmm.
even those March gaps also will fill.
Hmm.
So most of the gaps between these zone are filled now, right?
Right.
From here to here, all the gaps were filled. Only below
Hmm.
these gaps are left out. So these gaps
Right.
will fill some point of time,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
but how many gaps will fill, we don't know. but gaps will generally fill. So the yesterday's gap is almost filled
Hmm.
here, and this gap is
Right.
also filled, and these are the gaps to be filled very soon.
Hmm.
Don't worry about that. These gaps will definitely fill.
Right. Sir, Shreyas is asking what is the logic behind gap filling?
Oh. Why gaps happen generally? Because today 3:32, tomorrow to 9:15, there are many fundamental changes will come up. That's the reason
Hmm.
gaps happen, right?
Right.
Right. So these fundamental factors basically influence the price actions.
Hmm.
The price generally moves between unjustified optimism and unsustainable pessimism.
Hmm.
So when the
Right.
price is moving up and up like this, there is
Huh.
no justification for this move, right?
Right.
Russia-Ukraine war is not ended. Crude oil prices not came down,
Right.
right? And there is no positivity in the economy except that political event risk has came positively because of the ruling
Right.
party is won, right?
Yeah.
So where is the other fundamental factor which influence the price? There is no earnings
Hmm.
in this between last 2 3 weeks.
Hmm.
No earnings, right? And
Right.
no corporate announced, no major heavyweight corporate announced any big positive news. But
Right.
market moved 11%, right?
Hmm.
So for this justification of this move doesn't have any, uh, I mean, any justification for this move. So it has to correct. That correction will
Right.
is inevitable. In this optimism and pessimism of
Hmm.
psychology of the mass traders generally fills these gaps.
Hmm.
They basically traders will have a catch 22 situation always, so they come
Right.
back. They come back
Right.
to the levels which have generally
Huh.
price. That's the reason. Say the saying is in technology is that price has a memory.
Hmm.
So each level will revisited by price itself at some point of time. So
Right.
I'll show you. I think I've shown this earlier also. Suppose I'll take a blank chart.
Hmm.
I'll show you why I'm saying that. So name one particular any choice of your stock or index, whatever it is.
Uh, Maybe let us take Nifty only.
Okay, Nifty cash I'm taking.
Okay.
Okay, uh,
So there is one question by Rajesh. He's saying
yeah,
whether Nifty's 2008 gap up also need to be filled in future.
that's what I said. That's what I said. That is around. I think it is 2000 levels, 2300 levels. 2008 means 2000 levels.
Huh.
So that may not come down. No, don't
Right.
expect that too much of things. No, that will
Right.
not come. Even 2009, I think
Huh.
2009 or below, before that, when Manmohan Singh sworn in as a prime minister,
Huh.
there was a huge gap. The Nifty was on upper circuit,
Right.
so that gap never filled.
Hmm.
You don't expect Nifty to be upper circuit or down circuit always. So those gaps will not fill. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
I remove all the things.
Huh.
I'll take
Okay.
little history, more history.
Huh.
Almost 10 years history I've taken. So what
Okay.
I'll do is I'll price will be hidden, right? So there is
Hmm.
no price now, right?
Okay.
There is no price, and there is no
Huh.
magnet also here. So I'll
Right.
draw a parallel line wherever you say. Can I put a trend line here?
Yeah.
Done. Another one here.
Okay.
Another one here.
Okay. Done.
Done.
Yeah.
Done. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know where the price is exactly,
Hmm.
where the lows and where the highs are. Okay. In the
Okay.
last 10 years, we have taken the chart. So
Hmm.
I'll take the price back to the chart. So if you
Hmm.
look at the, you did you find any difference, any findings here? See, this acted as a resistance
Huh.
and a consolidation, a support zone here,
Support
and it
zone.
is yeah, yeah, almost a supported here.
Right.
So even if you go little, I think there is no price below
Huh.
after 2000 before 2014. So again,
Right.
it holds it here. It was
Right.
consolidated here,
Huh.
right? So the price will have a memory basically.
Huh. Right.
Most of the price actions will fit into the parallel lines. That's the reason
Right.
channels will work more and more effectively than any other pattern.
Okay.
Done.
Right. So this is the reason you trade channels most of the time.
Yes, yes. You see how many channels I haven't shoot for this. I have
Huh.
long back. Even if you
Right.
go 2010, 2009 onwards, also I can show many channels in my library.
Right.
I can show you at least 20 to 30,000 Nifty charts for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is one interesting question on gaps that if we have to trade gaps, let's say in
Hmm.
Nifty, if there's a gap in the direction of the trend,
Yes.
assuming it's a downtrend, or let us consider in the uptrend itself, because we have uptrend
Hmm.
charts available,
Hmm. Hmm.
and there are gaps in between. So how we should plan an entry and exit, and what should be our stop
Yeah.
loss in
See
if we have to trade gaps?
now. So you don't know whether will be there will be a gap or not tomorrow.
Hmm.
The gap actual means is the difference between today's high and tomorrow's low, right? That's a gap.
Right.
Am I right?
Right.
So this is the gap. Sorry,
Hmm.
this is the gap, right?
Right.
You accept this is the gap, right? So
Hmm.
how to trade this gap to benefit
Huh.
out of this gap, right? That's the question.
Huh. Yeah, that's the
So
question.
yeah, this is the date of when it is. This is the 11th Jan 2022, right?
22. Hmm.
Yeah, we'll go to that date.
So this is 75-minute chart.
Yeah, this is 75 minutes.
Okay.
This is the 11th Jan, right?
Hmm.
We are talking about this gap,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So what is the trend before the
Bullish.
bullish? So where
Uptrend.
do you
Yeah.
take the position? You take the position at the end of this day, right?
Hmm. Right.
Right. So what do you benefit out of this gap or not?
Yeah. If I take it a day before, then I
Yeah,
am in
you are
benefit.
suppose you have taken this day.
Yeah.
That means I think this is 10th Jan. You have taken somewhere because of this breakout. You have taken a position
Hmm.
at this level, right? This is
Okay.
the trade you entered. So
Hmm.
there is no lower close of the prior bar low. There is no close
Hmm.
below the prior bar low. So you are continuing.
Right.
Even at here also you are continuing. This gap
Hmm.
benefited you. It went up.
Right. Hmm.
Again another gap was happened yet here.
Right.
But here there is a after a big hammer there is a low, but close has not happened here.
Hmm.
So still you are continuing the position,
Hmm.
but here another bar went below the trend line support, but
Hmm.
closing on this. Here you will exit the thing because it
Hmm.
closes below the prior bar low.
Hmm. Okay.
So no bar is here. Till you are considering your entry at here because of the breakout, you are benefited two gaps here of gap, another gap at here, and you continued the position because your stop loss hasn't triggered. Right?
Right.
There is no trend change at all until here.
Right.
So there is no trend change in the sense there is no moving average curve down, or there is
Hmm.
no bar closed below the prior bar low.
Hmm. Right.
Okay, here there is a this is a low. This
Hmm. Okay.
bar closed at here, but
Hmm.
I'm betting on this trend line support. Still it is there, but here there is a very strong breakdown happened this zone. I'll exit
Hmm.
at this level. So to continue that, this is the direction of
Hmm.
the trend.
Right.
At the same time, here there is a gap down here.
Hmm.
Exactly on I think I'm not able to see the date. This is on 20th, 21st January. Okay, there's
Hmm.
a gap. So what will you take? Prior trend is completely down.
Right.
You take somewhere here the position at somewhere here,
Huh.
and you continue still the continuing. And here the bar was closed above the prior bar high, even the
Hmm.
between the valley point also. You exited here this level.
Right.
So you have benefited these gaps.
Hmm.
So if you are with the trend is your friend. That's the reason. Trend, whatever the
Right.
trend, whatever happens, whether it's a gap or not gap, whether it's a very strong bearish bar or something else. So you trade according to the direction of the trend, then you will benefit. That's a simple reason.
Right. Sir, my question would be that do we get benefited only when we trade positional, or there is a trade setup that can be worked out in intraday as well? Let's say there is a gap,
So
let's say there's a gap up or gap down in the direction of the trend, then
there is
is
no
there any
gap.
possibility that
There,
we can enter the trade?
there will be no gaps in intraday.
No, no, no. Positionally, there is a gap.
Yeah, positionally
Let's
there is
say
a gap.
recently, whatever happened was there are multiple gap ups, right?
Yeah.
Market has
See,
gapped up.
these are
Can
all
we find
multiple
one
gap.
more entry? Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
there are multiple gap ups.
Yes,
So
1 second. 1 second,
and
I'll
if
show you.
we have to trade in intraday, is there any setup or anything that we can look at or anything to
Okay.
consider?
Intraday, yes, we can consider. Intraday, I'll give you an example to you. Ask any of the viewer now will
Hmm.
trade one of the price. That means Nifty
Huh.
again, Nifty futures, because you are trading Nifty futures. Okay.
Huh.
Because we are trading intraday, we'll go
Hmm.
little lower time frame of 5 minutes of last 3 months. Okay. I'll remove all the indicators now. So ask them which is their favorite indicator. One or two indicators. One is unplotted on price. One is
Right.
plotted on the below the price.
So, yeah, viewers, you can type in which indicator do you use and which indicator do you want us to use for our analysis. So, I guess sir is very kind that he's asking you which kind of indicator. So,
You can set up. You can create your own setup. Suppose you are intraday trader. Look at
right,
5 minute chart or 15-minute chart, whichever comfortable you are.
right,
Apply one indicator on the top, one indicator on the bottom. You can correlate them. That's
right.
the way you can
So,
build the.
let's say till the time we start getting, okay,
Okay,
so we have got EMA and RSI.
done. So I'll apply one EMA because I'm very much studied this EMA because my setup will be 34 EMA close. Okay.
Okay.
So the question here is you will find the clear direction here.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll apply the same average
Hmm.
of another average of low,
Hmm.
and I'll apply another same moving average of high.
Hmm.
Done.
Okay.
So what is for your kind information? The trend is clearly visible, irrespective of
Right.
something like irrespective of this sidewaysness,
Hmm.
right? The clearly trend is clearly this because whoever trades based on the moving average, whatever the moving average,
Hmm.
the curvature of this moving average nature need to be understood, not
Right.
just because of the above or below buy or
Hmm.
sell. No, the
Right.
curvature, the moving average should curve up or should curve down. See here the
Right.
curve down, so it clearly
Hmm.
entered the price has entered the downtrend. Herely
Hmm.
clearly down, the price entered into
Right.
the downtrend. So herely the curve is up, and still up to
Hmm.
here you can ride the trend. Even any time
Right.
frame, you can go to little higher time frame of 10 minutes also. It will be
Hmm.
there will not be a much change. You
Hmm.
are easy to identify a trend. Our aim is to trade according to the trend. So
Right.
moving average basically a trend indicator, which gives
Right.
you more and more things. So now the person said us as a relative strength index, right?
Right.
So now the relative strength index is,
Hmm.
see what you have observed. Here the observation is very important. What
Hmm.
is your observation? This 30 zone acting as a support currently and even
Right.
at the previous levels, right?
Right.
So very few times it was drifted below the 30 zone, right?
Right.
So again, it see the price patterns or a trend lines, whichever works on the price also works in the RSI.
Indicator. Yeah.
RSI, particularly RSI. We are because we are talking about the RSI. It was
Hmm.
broken. A channel broke out,
Hmm.
right? Done, and it's a
Done.
prior. It's about the prior high,
Hmm.
not at because
Yeah.
it is reacting. So even the
Right.
price is also reacting from there.
Hmm. Hmm.
So wait till this breakout happens. You
Hmm.
might have taken a position at here. You just
Hmm.
catch about this little move, but not now.
Right.
So now it is coming down. The price is also coming down. This ribbon has acted as a resistance. Even
Hmm.
this level has acted as a resistance around 40 zone. Unless
Right.
until, as long as Nifty or any other stock, as long as it is below 40 level RSI,
Hmm. Hmm.
never look for the buy position, because
Okay.
whatever the price, whatever the index trading
Hmm.
below 40 RSI means it's still in the bearish zone.
Okay.
So trade RSI above 60 zone.
Hmm. Right.
Maybe 70 is overbought, but overboughtness is very, very good for you, because
Hmm.
this is 70 zone, right? See, from
Right.
here to here, this completely on above 70 level only.
Hmm.
So where you got
Right.
a good move, right? So
Right.
don't look at the indexes overbought or oversold conditions, whether
Hmm.
strongly bullish zone or strongly bearish zone.
Very
Look at
soon.
like
Right.
that. Yeah. So this is the way we can look at.
Right.
Okay.
Sir,
So
does gaps and everything works well in options as well?
so don't mix some options now in this,
Yeah. So
because
it is purely for
see,
cash, right?
yeah, it's purely cash or even futures also.
Okay.
Suppose now the time is 11:37. You just came
Hmm.
into the market. Where do you find the
Hmm.
time? Where do you find the trade? How do you find
Right.
the trade?
Huh.
That's the question, right?
Right.
So when you came now into the
Hmm.
market, you are
Hmm.
looking at the derivative market only, not the cash market, right? You are trading, you
Right.
are opportunity
Yeah.
trade. So
Right.
now go to the futures market, right?
Hmm.
So select the open interest price. See, this is
Hmm.
the open interest, right? Change in
Hmm.
open yield. Highest open
Huh.
interest is nothing but there are people, more people are interested to carry forward those things, right?
Right.
So intellect design have a highest open
Hmm.
interest, at the same
Hmm.
time price raise, highest price raise.
Hmm. Hmm.
That means it's going to be a very, very bullish. See,
Hmm.
look at this chart. Is it bullish or not?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
bullish, right?
Bullish. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullish.
So now the J segment is the most bearish one. The reason
Hmm.
is the price down by 3%, the open interest is up by 8%. That means
Hmm.
people are selling and holding the shorts,
Right.
right? So now to look at that, to scanify yourself, you
Hmm.
look at the price rise, open interest rise is a bullish,
Hmm. Hmm.
price fall, open interest rise is a bearish one. Look at these are
Right.
the bullish and bearish. Even Reliance is a bullish stock. See, look at this
Right.
above the prior high, right?
Hmm.
Very strongly priced.
Hmm.
MACD, RSI is 60, strongly zone,
Huh.
and this completely and a trending move.
Right.
You took anything. You suppose
Hmm.
even Naukri is a bullish one,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
So you can look at the bearish one also. The Apollo Hospitals is a bearish one. See, look
Hmm.
at this bearish one. So
Right.
you need to find a trade.
Hmm.
Whenever you came into the market, you
Hmm.
miss this big trade because you are not there at this time.
Hmm.
Suppose, for example.
Right.
So
Huh.
it is already late. Don't Because
Right.
this sharpness will attract some kind of counter trends. Don't expect
Right.
that to be moved further. So go for
Right.
another one. Dixon. I think Dixon is a bearish one, strongly
Hmm.
bearish bar on a daily chart,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
there is something. See, look at this below the ribbon.
Hmm.
MACD line is completely coming down, so it
Right.
will fall further. Dixon will
Right.
fall further. So
So
this is the
what is
way
the time frame of both the charts?
the left one is daily, the right one is
Okay.
hourly.
Hourly.
So
Okay.
in these trade setups we can find the long positions.
Hmm.
I think yesterday I'll show you one more. Uh, Yesterday I found two Vedanta. Yeah, Vedanta has found like this only, because I
Hmm.
scanned at the open test base of the future stock, which was at the pivot, and there is a
Hmm.
MACD line, and my targets are 434 with a stop loss 389, entry at 402. Look at the
Hmm.
Vedanta whether it is there or not.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, yes, it went up to
Hmm.
415 and coming back.
Hmm. Right.
So I have taken an entry at the earlier yesterday. So
Hmm.
I may be holding, because though it is a shooting star bearish patterns, let it be
Huh.
closed, because I'm a position trader. I'll wait for that. My stop loss is
Right.
somewhere around this level.
Right.
So like that we can trade.
Hmm.
Yesterday I think on ACC we have taken a trade yesterday. The reason I'll tell you.
Right.
See. Yesterday it was closed below the 20 DMA, and
Hmm.
the ribbon was moved below the
Huh.
MACD line turned negative, and it is continuously falling now. So we have
Right.
taken position somewhere here itself, here
Okay. Hmm.
around 2075, 30 rupees
Right.
we are in gain now. So this is the way we can identify open interest based identification. Only
Hmm.
look at only two kinds of things. Don't look at the short covering. Don't look at the profit booking kind of thing. Look
Hmm.
at the strong bearish, which is price fall, open interest
Right.
rise, and
Right.
price rise, open interest rise. These two categories you look at, then you automatically will find the trades.
Right. Sir, there is one question that don't we look at volumes?
Generally, volume confirms.
Right.
Okay, look, we'll go to the same Vedanta only. Then
Hmm.
look at the volume here. Generally, the volume is higher than last previous 5 10 days, right? 5 to 10 days,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? This is the indication that this breakout is valid,
Right.
right? Even I think we have discussed ACC.
Hmm.
If you look at the volume size, is also this volume automatically matches that. If you are
Right.
look at that.
Right. So once we have entered into the trade, maybe volume will confirm and it will build our
Yeah,
conviction.
conviction, that gives you a conviction levels.
Yeah.
Generally, volume will validate the trade breakout.
Hmm. Okay.
Sometimes most of the breakouts will retest the breakout levels and moves up again.
Hmm.
So those are all breakout plus breakout retesting traders. Actually, basically, I'm a breakout trader, and most I believe in patterns.
Right. Okay. So if listeners who are watching this, if you want to ask any questions, you can type your message. You can type your questions. I'll take those questions on your behalf.
Yeah.
There's a question from Richa that
Hmm.
if we are trading for short term, if we
Okay.
are trading for short to medium term, which indicator should we use?
Short to medium in the sense 1 to 2 days.
I'll I'll consider intraday. Short term is intraday only.
Okay. That's the reason I have given a setups like this:
Huh.
daily, hourly, and 5 minutes.
Right.
Right? See, for a daily trend, for hourly, what I'll do is I'll hold the position for next 2 to 3 days.
Hmm.
If I'm trading in a 5 minutes, I'll close the position by end of the day. Simple reason.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll tell you, if I'm
Hmm.
trading only 5 minute chart. Okay, I got a trade at here yesterday. Okay,
Hmm.
done. So I
Yeah.
carried till the morning. I exited here.
Hmm.
I'm waiting for the next trade. Simple.
Right.
So yesterday's position was carried till today with a
Hmm.
little profit, and even this also. Almost we get trades, more trades around 2 to 3 2:30 time frame.
Hmm.
So you can
Hmm.
carry then for the next day also. As I said, the
Right.
gaps will be. This is an ACC. Gaps is in the direction of the trend. Here we
Right.
gap. Our next day gap is in the direction of the trend. Again, the
Right.
another thing also. Here it was
Hmm.
closed here around 29 2059.95. The next day
Right.
open is 61. There is no gap, but the direction is almost the same thing.
Hmm.
Here,
Right.
very rare cases you will your position will hurt you,
Hmm.
because opening you can't put a stop loss also, right? So
Right.
opening trade, wait till 5 minute bar to close, though
Hmm.
it may hurt a little more, but 5 minute bar will give you a lot of close to you.
Right.
So this is a very short term. Suppose
Okay.
this is if I trade this one
Hmm.
hourly chart, my
Hmm.
position was here. I'll tell you,
Hmm.
this is my entry position. I
Hmm.
think you got a correlation between these two, right?
Yeah. 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 I got. Yeah.
I exited this level.
Right.
So from here, I think this is on day of 9th March, and
Hmm.
this is yesterday.
Hmm.
So as long as my stop loss not triggered I hold
Hmm.
this position. When I entered
Right.
here, my stop loss is this much. Simple,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
After entering here, my stop loss
Hmm.
is the prior lows, right? Or
Yeah.
below the average. Whenever it turns negative, I'll exit this simply.
Right.
So if you hold the position in a short at here,
Hmm.
look at this. This is an entry 2273.
Hmm.
Your exit will be here itself.
Hmm.
So or here because the double bottom. So even if
Right.
you exit at here, 2273 plus 1987,
Hmm.
sorry,
Hmm.
this is somewhere even at this close also 2010 almost more than 200 points you got it in this cover.
Right.
You can you need not exit your position just because you are trading short term. As long
Right.
there are three exits in the market.
Hmm.
One is your stop loss, that's the first
Hmm.
exit. Then you
Right.
are most disciplined trader.
Huh.
The second one is at a trailing stop loss.
Right.
The third one is at your target.
Right.
So unless until these three not triggered, then
Huh.
automatically your position will run as long as your stop loss or trail stop triggers. That's all.
Right. 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 So there's one question that what does it mean when open interest is green and the price has fallen today?
Okay.
Example is Deepak Nitrate. So
One
what does that signify?
Deepak nitrate. Okay. Also, I'll show you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Uh, Deepak nitrate is fall by 2.85%. Open interest
Hmm.
rose by 5.3. It's a
Hmm.
bearish, simple bearish. I'll tell you why bearishness.
Huh.
See, this is volume,
Hmm.
and I'll show you the open interest also. So open interest is more than 2 days ago, right? People
Hmm.
are carrying forward the short positions for the next day.
Okay.
Open interest means people not cover the position. Whatever
Huh.
there is positions in the system, they are
Hmm.
there. So the
Hmm.
price is down,
Huh.
okay, and the open interest is high because the
Hmm.
people are more on short side. It's a short built up. Simple thing is it's a short built up.
Okay.
And look at this. It's a
So
I think
the open interest that you're using is for all the contracts,
yes.
all the 3 months
So this is
contracts.
the
Okay.
current contract.
Okay.
So we are trading only current month only, no?
Hmm.
So
Right.
next month or 4 month will not have much volume or much what we can say. See, this is the next month contract. There is no
Hmm.
volume or there is no open interest much here.
Okay.
Suppose if you take 4 month,
Hmm.
then very little volume here. Just
Right.
3,750 means if you calculate this uh, the bit the 250 lot size divided by 3
Hmm.
this much, so it is not
Right.
much volume.
Much volume.
Al-
Right.
Always look at the near contract only,
Hmm.
current month contract only.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Deepak nitrate is
Okay.
giving very big shot now. If it
Hmm.
moves below 22 2199, then you'll get a very big trading opportunity. I'll tell you the target for that. If it is moves below 2199, there is a good trading opportunity
Right.
short, and it may come to 2052 or 90 below 2000 levels. 200 point move is there downside.
Hmm. Right.
Your stop loss is this much only. The simple thing. Your moving
Huh.
average itself.
Huh. Okay. Right. So there's one question that what are the main components to focus before entering a trade? What
Yeah.
should we consider?
Suppose you are the same chart, Deepak
Hmm.
nitrate.
Huh.
First thing, long-term trend. What is the long-term trend?
Okay.
Okay, we'll go to the cash because
Hmm.
cash is the actual original price. All
Right.
of them are derivative from there. Okay.
Right.
See, fresh signal has come in Deepak nitrate.
Huh.
sell signal. Okay,
Right.
so now the trend is down.
Huh?
Long term trend is down.
Right.
So this is the first identification of a trend.
Hmm.
So now after moving of the prior trend,
Hmm.
this movement will not be more than 61%,
Hmm.
78 points. Okay,
Right.
so it faced the resistance at here.
Hmm.
So, so now coming back, so this is a bearish engulfing after
Hmm.
a this one. If you look at the momentum indicators, all of
Right.
them uh, will be the momentum is the bullish momentum is coming down for the last 3 days.
Hmm.
RSI will be negative, so
Right.
coming phase. Okay, so the trend is negative, right? The
Hmm.
volume is higher. I think volume will be
Right.
definitely higher today.
Right.
See, till there is more time, 3.5 4 hours of trading is there. Almost already it was yesterday's volume is 88 lakh. Today it already
Hmm.
happened 6.2 lakh rupees. So volume
Right.
definitely more than yesterday. So volume
Right.
confirms this bearish pattern. Once this
Hmm.
moves, I think we'll get around 2000,
Hmm.
1990 levels.
Right.
So trend is negative. So even in the if you look at this hourly chart also, the
Huh.
same thing will be the same. There will
Hmm.
be no change in the trend in this chart, even this
Right.
also.
Right.
Hmm. Sorry, there is something.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
it's clearly negative, right?
Hmm.
Moreover, look, the price action in the daily chart hasn't given any
Hmm.
clues for you. Suppose, for
Right.
example, so
Hmm.
here the breakdown happened.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's all. That's an entry point for you.
Right. Right. Okay. Sir, we'll take a last question. We'll just wrap up the session.
Please.
That can you throw some light on risk management when trading intraday and positional? That what are the components that we can take care of or in our trading style when it comes to risk management?
Every position, every entry should have first stop loss. Define
Hmm.
your stop loss first. That's the only risk
Right.
management tool.
Right.
So after that, you trial your stop losses according to
Hmm.
the move. The
Right.
entry based on the trend, the entry based on the setup,
Hmm.
and the setup will give you a stop loss level. So suppose my stop loss levels here, suppose this is an entry, right?
Hmm.
Suppose I'm taking entry because the moving arrow is turning down. So
Hmm.
once this price closes below this level, this is my
Hmm.
entry. Even
Right.
automatically, if the price moves this low, this MACD
Hmm.
line will also closes below the zero line. So this is
Right.
my entry. My entry rules
Hmm.
are defined. Okay.
Right.
But if at all, what is my stop loss? That's a question,
Hmm.
right? What is my
Right.
risk? A risk is nothing but the high of this bar. That means your
Hmm.
entry bar. That's all. Or
Right.
prior bar high.
Right.
So your stop loss is very, very minimal. Just
Hmm.
28, 30 rupees. But if you
Right.
get 200 rupees, so that means
Hmm.
your risk reward ratios to be calculated before the entry itself. Your setup should
Right.
say your entry levels, your stop
Hmm.
level, your target levels. That's
Right.
all. So that's way you can look at the you can create your own setups. That is the way where you can trade.
Right.
Suppose if you are following 1 is to 2 risk reward
Huh.
ratio, if you are losing 60% of the time, that means if
Hmm.
you trade 10 trades,
Hmm.
6 trades are lost. Your loss is only 6 rupees, right?
Right.
If you win 4 trades, your profit will be 8 rupees.
Right.
Overall, you are in a gain.
Hmm.
So that's the reason you always follow 1 is to 2 risk reward ratio. Very rarely we get this 1 is to 5, 1 is to 10 kind of risk reward
Hmm.
ratios. So
Right.
don't miss them. Trade accordingly.
Right.
Go ahead with that trade. That's all. Suppose if you look at this uh, this one.
Hmm.
See, this is the about India, where
Hmm.
this bearish engulfing, sorry, head and shoulder
Right.
broken down. I've taken
Hmm.
trade here, so
Huh.
still holding this. Actually, I've
Hmm.
taken a trade at this level.
Right.
This is my entry level because by this time this was
Hmm.
turned down.
Right.
Okay, so I've taken a trade at here, so still
Hmm.
continuing. I'm expecting to touch at least around 1600 levels, this level.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Right.
that is where we can look at the chart.
Hmm.
Mostly visually it gives you clarity whether to enter or not to enter, whether the
Right.
chart is giving or chart is giving clues to your trade setup or not. Simple rule.
Right. Right.
That setup itself tells you the stop loss levels.
Right. Okay. Sir, the last question that I want to take is which software you are using, because a lot of messages that I've received in the chat is which software you are using.
This is ticker plant. This
Okay.
here in this right left top corner
Huh.
ticker MVT.
Huh.
This software I'm using for the past 12 years.
Okay.
And I
Right.
also use Metastock also and TradingView
Right.
also. But for the
Okay.
simplicity to understand to apply
Hmm.
everything, I'm using this software now.
Right. So at the end, it's on the trader that what they're comfortable with. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
whatever. Suppose in the same TradingView. Suppose this is the TradingView. This is another
mhm.
setup altogether.
Right.
So, okay. Suppose if you take a TradingView setup,
Hmm. Hmm.
take one Nifty futures,
Hmm. Hmm.
apply the same principles here.
Hmm.
Moving average exponential, apply
Hmm.
3,
Hmm.
and inputs make it 334, uh, sorry, 34 close. I think there is I think trading we have given lot of other things now.
Hmm. Right.
So we need to set up exactly what we need and make
Hmm.
them 34
Right.
low.
Hmm.
High. The setup is ready.
Hmm.
I think there is offset prices are there that we can remove. If you apply
Right.
a MACD line here,
Huh.
automatically gives that. This trend is here. From because
Right.
this is the zero line, it broken the
Hmm.
zero line. So here
Right.
it itself is a
Huh.
simple thing.
Right.
You can set up. You can set up. The here what the trading view has given is this
Hmm.
smoothening periods they are giving, but that is not useful now.
Right.
Forget them.
Huh.
So remove those smoothening periods. That's all.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming down. So I just
Yeah.
said Nifty will test almost 16,700
Hmm.
first, then almost
Right.
16,400 then next thing.
Right. Yeah. So, thank you, sir, for joining for the live session and sharing your knowledge. I guess this was insightful. Even I learned a lot of things,
Thank you
gaps,
very
trading strategy, and I guess it was a good learning experience for me. And I hope it is for our listeners also. So,
much.
अगर आपको स्ट्रीम अच्छी लगी है तो लाइक करो और शेयर करो ये आपके फ्रेंड्स के साथ ये स्ट्रीम के बारे में, बिकॉज दिस इज एन एफर्ट बाय ईलर्न मार्केट्स दैट वी कम लाइव विद एन एक्सपर्ट ट्रेडर एवरी ट्यूसडे एंड थर्सडे, just to help you that how you should trade in markets and where the experts can help you with your stop losses and how you should figure out the trade and a lot of other things, right? So thank you, Brahmachary sir, for joining in. Thank you everyone to join in. Stream अच्छी लगी है तो एक बार like करो. uh, so thank you all.
Thank you very much, Kaushik. Thank you, everyone. We'll meet again sometime.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.